Hi everyone. Hey, I'm John. I'm over here at Beacon Rock. I'm actually across from Beacon Rock now. I can look up at it right here. I've got a really beautiful view. And there's nobody up over here out on this here side right now. I've got a nice secluded space on Beacon Rock I get to go to. And, I get to see the park rangers and stuff that come around here and do their jobs and stuff. And I seen a couple park rangers this morning first, and they were down there checking out the cars of, some cars that's pretty iffy whether they even belong in there or not, And I don't blame them for having some concerns or not, People should obey the rules in the state park, just like, the park rangers, they got to do the job. Park rangers are not our enemy. Park rangers, they're the ones that tell you don't feed the bears, don't feed Yogi Bear. Yogi Bear. Hey, check it out. These people want to work, they're panhandlers, they've got by on just their bullshit alone, and if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, you baffle them with bullshit. And I know from experience how that works. And let me say, I had a wonderful time with not only the park ranger I got to talk to. He came down, he comes down, he checks things out, he's got a job to do. And, the only time that these people, don't like the park rangers when he's coming around because they've done something wrong. Park rangers are not my enemy. Park rangers are my friend that keeps riffraff the fuck away from me. Just like the law enforcement community in Camas. You're paid to do a job, and that's to keep riffraff away from all residents in Camas. And when there's somebody that's acting out against the residents of Camas, they could be considered an habitual offender because they don't goddamn do it. They don't move out. They want to be like a fucking blood clot, red blood clot. Like Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is just no more than a blood clot that's about ready to come up your fucking leg and give you a heart attack when you realize what he's doing to you personally and your country. He's selling you down the river. But this is what I say. Go ahead, Donald Trump. You do whatever the fuck you want because God knew what you were going to do before you ever did it. And it's part of God giving you a scoop full of shit because that's what you wanted. That's what you got. You got that fucking little red abusive bitch that's not God, that's not even fucking close. That's right. And by the way, the Holy Father loves me, and the Holy Father does not love Donald J. Trump. He's the everything that's the opposite of me. Well, I'm rich beyond Donald Trump's wildest dreams, and what I have, he cannot have. And neither can none of you. Because it's mine, and it's mine alone with the Holy Father at my side. With also Michael, Archangel, Eve, Satan, all of the witnesses to the 10 tribes of Israel. It's an amazing thing. Judas Iscariot, Judas Iscariot, it was better that man would never have been born. Well, look what everything that he's gone through. Well, it would have been better that he'd never been born. But do you think that Judas Iscariot didn't play the role that he had played? Well, he played it. He played it very well to the T. And, by the way, he was the Lord's friend. He was the Lord's friend. And you would think that he would have learned, but he didn't. But over time, he will. And he will be adjusted too, just like all of you. Is what the Holy Father tells me. And I seen the woman that was cleaning the bathrooms this morning. She was down there. I stopped in and I said hi to her. We talked, and I know that this girl has been hurt in the past, just like this other officer or this park ranger that I talked to in person. And I can read people, and I can see the pain in their hearts. And, you know, I talked to this woman a little bit, and I think I actually talked to her right to her heart today, you know, about certain things. And there's a woman that works down at Starbucks that looks a lot like her, and her name's Emma. And Emma is one of the sweetest women that I had met personally in Camas. You know, she works at Starbucks, you know, at Safeways and Safeways Camas. And you know what? All the girls there are great. All the girls are great. And Emma too. One time I dropped a $20 bill on Emma before Christmas, along with the girls down there at the other Starbucks, down by where Ugly Tina was hurt. That was before Tina came back. That was before Tina came back and ripped me off. Well, she ripped me off for her last $10 down there. But Emma down here at this Starbucks, she never treated me like that Starbucks. But Emma over here is gold to me. Why? Because I could see the Holy Father's glow in her, you know. And by the way, I know a lot of women has been abused, and it's hard to trust men, you know. And men, you dirty son of a bitches, you make up with women today because you're to look up to women instead of down on women, because that's the goddamn problem in America too. You don't take your women very fucking serious, and women just want to have fun because you guys are just a bunch of jackasses anyway. Now, I don't want to get into this or that, but I get to go around and I get to spread the word around in my own way. You know, Yashua is the Lord. Jesus is a subcontractor that failed miserably. God damn it, don't call that subcontractor, don't give him that fucking check before he leaves because he fucked up. And I tell somebody that before they left the construction site too, and save the company 50 fucking grand on the way out. That was Orman Construction. They would have paid a fucking another 50 grand to have that floor redone again, easily, or more. And so anyway, the proof is always in the pudding. There's always evidence to what I say. And Yashua inside the cup, Yashua outside the cup. Now, if you're praying to Jesus in those churches and stuff, and bad things are happening to you, and you guys are scared to fucking death, gotta pray, gotta hunker down, we gotta stick together. You guys are scared fucking mice in that fucking room, in that church. And you know what? What you've done is you got together as a group and you fucking, you targeted people by your awful prayers and stuff that's in there in the name of evilness. In the name of evilness. And it's always going to backfire on you forever and ever and ever because you failed to adjust or required to know that Yashua is the name of the Lord and Jesus is a subtitle, which you should just 86. I mean, I wouldn't even speak the word of sneezes ever fucking again if I was you. Matter of fact, you know, in Salem, in Massachusetts, they just burned the fucking witches. So, you know, all of you are a bunch of fucking witches. And just like Eve is no better than a fucking witch. Why? Because she followed Satan and Satanism. I'm nor a witch nor a warlock. I'm Adam from Adam and Eve. And by the way, I've already paid my dues with the Holy Father. So it doesn't matter if somebody came out and murdered me. It's going to come right back on you. And matter of fact, God's going to annihilate everybody for doing something like that to his son once again. So I just want to tell you, first and foremost, Yashua is the name of the Lord. Adam and Yashua is one and the same, just like D.B. Cooper and the Zodiac was one and the same. And I get the luxury of telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, without no repercussions to me. And the truth that I say scares the fuck out of everyone that's in the Sanhedrin. the Sanhedrin that helped put Jesus to death. That son of a bitches. And they played you all like that. And even this Jesus fucking phenomenon too. It's Yashua inside the cup. It's Yashua outside the cup. And those churches that fucking did that and went with the subtitle and stuff, they're doing that to protect themselves. They don't want to face the tune. Well, the rock's in action and all of you are getting bashed. All the fucking churches and everybody's gonna crash. And the Holy Father is applauding me in heaven along with Satan and Eve for coming together. Now, don't none of you backbiting bitches ever fucking come and test Satan, Eve, me, let alone the Holy Father that's watching out over me. There's angels all around me. Satan and Eve listens to everything I say, whether you're a good angel or whether you're a bad angel. If you've pleased me, you've pleased the Holy Father, and you're saved. Isn't that nice? Yashua is the name of the Lord. And by the way, I even touched base on the atheist down here. This man that was in that boat, I met this man that had this boat down here. It was a blue boat and it's white. And he was down here at the dock at Steamboat Landing. And this woman, I actually filmed her and stuff. She's collecting cans and stuff down there and whatever. This woman bought that boat, that $1,500 boat that was down there. This Joshua, it's Yashua but with a J, okay, is his name. And I didn't know that till I just talked to him. He says Joshua, Joshua. So anyway, Joshua right there. I said Yashua was the name of the Lord. He says my name's Joshua. And I found that very pleasing. I never singled out this person and thought he was a bad person for having a boat on his shoestring. Matter of fact, when I went down there to look for the man with the boat, because I seen that boat, I recognized that boat. That was the boat from Steamboat Landing. And that woman was the car that had the atheist sticker on it. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I went down there. The big boat was there. A great big fucking boat. This boat was worth about $140,000. It was a nice big boat. And I said, I see you brought out the dinghy this morning. And the guy says, what did you say to me? I said, well, I see you brought out that dinghy this morning, that little bitty dinghy right there. I mean, it's little. That's so little. I bet you have a bigger boat at home. And these people just fucking smile. And I said, actually, I came down to wish this guy well right here. He's on his shoestring. You got his boat up here from down the river. I said, he's making it somewhere. I said, let's see where this guy goes. And, he was probably sleeping or something in the boat possibly. But anyway, I got to see him up here or up by the bathrooms. And me and him talked. I seen his boat and everything. I was happy to see him. He knew I was blessed him from down the road. He came from Snapoose. The woman had bought that boat for $1,500, and they're heading up on the other side of Stevenson, up there at Hood River, and there's where my Aunt Pat lives. Matter of fact, I come down here and I went down to Bonneville and I picked some ice up and stuff so I don't have to go back to Camas today, maybe not tomorrow either. And I stay up here as much as I can during the week, and then I'll go back on the weekend. I'll go travel around the lakes and stuff up there. But now down here, everything is nice. These are people, they're heading up there. And I also found out that this woman paid their overnight over here. She's paid her way. They look like, what the problem is she's got these stickers on the back of her vehicle that says atheist. It says negative stuff on it. And I was like, you goddamn think so? It looks like a fucking threat to me on the back of and I'm the Holy Father's son. And I see this shit. I talked to Joshua over there by the bathrooms when I was going to take the garbage out. He comes out and he's standing there. I don't have nothing against this man. I told him, I said, I don't shake people's hands or anything like that. I said, I told him, I said, I was the Lord in the flesh. I'm Adam from Adam and Eve, and this is why this stuff's happening. And, you should see the glow and look on this guy's face. Because he's already met me in the past. I said, I never wished you any harm or anything. I see you doing what's right. I see you moving forward. I think you're great, like that. And I do. Anybody that puts their best foot forward. And this guy proved it to me by being upriver and doing what he says he's going to goddamn do. You do what you say what you do. Come to find out, this man is only helping this woman get this boat up the river. For one, he's got a free trip on a boat and stuff, and he's living the life today. They both got a car, and they're just leapfrogging up like this, up and down the river till they get to where they're going. That boat's going to be taken out of the water. I said, if it was my boat, I'd take it out of the water, I'd dry dock it, I'd jerk that engine out, I'd put a brand new engine in. That thing would be redone inside and out. And when spring comes, that place would be fucking nailed. And if these people wanted to sell that fucking boat, I would give them the $2,000 for it. Because I could see that boat's the perfect size for fucking boating. That motor has the motor right in the fucking center of it, so you could goddamn work on it all the way around it. There's so much plus things about that little fucking boat that I called the USS Minnow this morning. These people didn't think that the USS Minnow would actually make it here today, but it did. And I tell you what, hey, people get excited, even the park ranger. I could tell that the park ranger has had trouble and pain in his life. When I talk to him and stuff, and he looks up in the sky, and he just, I could tell that, like that woman that did the bathrooms and stuff, she's there living in peace because she's lived through a whole bunch of fucking pain. And I sense that this officer has too. And you know what? He just started glowing and smiling and stuff. When I tell you, you tell your mom and dad that, if your mom and dad's alive, tell them I'm here and I'm saying hi to them. If, your wife and family and your kids and stuff, tell them I said hi. I really do mean it. I mean the best for you. I want the best for you. I just want you to straighten up and do the straight way for the Holy Father, because who could want more for you than I? Hey, if you've impressed the Holy Father, you've impressed me. And if you've impressed me, you've impressed the Holy Father. And this young man that I met down there today, he was a fine example of a poor person getting by in a world where he's not leaning on anybody and he's doing what's right. And you know what? These people are going to make it to Hood River. And she's got her boat. She's paid for it and stuff. And you know what? And she shouldn't park evasively. And I told him, I said, the problem with that woman is she's fucking, just because she goddamn believes like this, doesn't mean that she should plaster this all on the back of her vehicle so I could see it and have hardship and heartache for her. I said, now that's your wife? He says, no, that's not my wife. That's just somebody I'm helping. And I said, good, because you can divorce her. You don't have to have nothing to do with her. She don't believe in God. She does this. She's having her problems. I said, people hate her, don't they? And he says, yes, people do hate her. And I said, why do you think people do hate her? And I said, how about her shoving her influence on other people where she don't have the right to do it? I said, that woman that you're with walked evasively around my vehicle and stuff, and that's something you goddamn don't do. And she's on my radar, and she's in fucking trouble. So today, when you guys head up river and stuff, I want you to tell her my name, John T. Wright. Tune into YouTube. I sing, and I suck singing, but I sing perfectly good for the Holy Father. And I told him I'm Adam from Adam and Eve, and I'm the Holy Father's son, Yashua, and Adam's one and the same. And you should have seen the glow and look on that man's face. That man is a true believer in the Lord and the Holy Father. And I said, if you pick Yashua today, you just won the fucking lottery. And you let that woman watch this stuff on YouTube all the way up there. And by the time that she goes up there, she's going to be a little bit different person, because she had met me right here in the flesh. But I didn't even talk to her. I wouldn't even give her the goddamn time of day. But I would talk to that person like he was goddamn gold. Why? Because God tells me it's okay to talk to this person and it's not okay to talk to that person and let them fall directly on their fucking face like that. And that's the way it is. Hey, when the Holy Father's arms stretched out against you, nothing's going to pull it out, and let me tell you that right goddamn now. My name's John T. Wright, and this is a public service message today from Beacon Rock. And you have a nice and incredible day, because you know what? The Holy Father's Son does love you, but do you love the Holy Father's Son? Now, think about that one today.